When they show you with their words, actions, and behavior that they don't really care about you, or that they don't really want to invest that much into you, and they don't want to be in your life, let them go. Let them go. Just let them go. Sometimes this is much easier than other times. Sometimes somebody treats you so poorly right off the bat and the red flags are blaringly obvious. It hurts a little less when you walk away or move on. Other times this person is very subtle, very sneaky, and it's little digs and little jabs over time. And this makes it a lot harder because in your mind you're trying to rationalize the whole relationship and the whole connection, and you think to yourself, well, not everything was bad, or it wasn't all terrible, or it wasn't really that painful. But if you look at the accumulation of damage over the course of the whole time, that gives you a better picture and more clarity on if that relationship was actually beneficial or sustainable. Now, I'm a really big believer in the fact that every connection you make with somebody, little or big, is meant to impact your life for the sheer purpose of growth. We're meant to learn something, even if it's little, from every person we have an interaction with. That's how I choose to view the world. That helps to cultivate my growth mindset and also my resilience to essentially damage over time. And what do I mean by damage over time? Well, relationships are one of those things that can bring so much joy and so much healing and so much benefit to your life and to the world, but they're also one of those things that inevitably can cause pain because you care and because you let somebody get close enough to you, and inevitably, whether it's on purpose or just by accident. I feel like most pain caused in relationships is usually by accidents, by people not really knowing much better. It causes pain, so there's always that risk in any relationship. Also, when I say relationship, I'm referring to all kinds of relationships. I'm not just talking about romantic, I'm also referring to working relationships, family relationships, friend relationships, even customer service oriented where it's a stranger but it's someone in the community that you interact with. These are all relationships that I'm referring to. But yeah, the concept of letting someone go. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to hold on and try to save and salvage whatever is left in the relationship, because you're glorifying the best parts of it and you're not being realistic and honest to yourself about the parts that are actually damaging and hurtful. This is coming from somebody who does everything possible to try to heal and salvage relationships. One of those people that just really won't give up until it's absolutely futile. This is something that I'm definitely in recovery for, and it's one of those qualities that I find very admirable. However, it can also be very destructive, especially for the self. The reason is, if you try to hang on to somebody that is really causing you more harm than good, you're just going to keep depleting and damaging yourself over time. And this damage can be in all kinds of ways, usually mental depletion. You're exhausted, you're burned out, you are energetically drained. And this also damages trust within yourself that you choose healthy people and healthy relationships to be included in your life and to invest in. This definitely can be solved. This definitely can be worked on. I'm living proof of this. But yeah, honestly, this is a really big year for a lot of people, and there's been a lot of shifts happening, and I feel like everybody has been feeling those on different levels to different extremes. And it's a really amazing, magical time to really take stock and take into account just simply notice who is helping to benefit your life, who is really holding you back, who's belittling you, who is talking down about you, who doesn't believe in your dreams, who tells you to think or act smaller. Just really notice who is giving back and nurturing to you, because the biggest bummer is you might be really nurturing and loving to all the people in your life, or many of the people in your life, but not everyone that you are giving to is going to give back to you. And that's a hard reality and a hard truth to accept, but that's something you must be realistic with yourself about. Letting go can be simpler and easier than you think. It can be as simple as no longer responding through text, through email, through call, in person. This can be simply just not making plans with them anymore. This may cause pushback, obviously. I'm sure we've all heard those stories of somebody bombarding you, trying to connect, trying to get back in your life. But sometimes you just really need to protect your peace. This was something that, while incredibly simple in action to carry out, was very hard for me to do because I felt like it was cold, heartless, and I thought I owed someone an explanation for deciding to step back from the connection. While in some cases you do owe somebody an explanation, especially if they're asking for one, again, really just take this to your own situation. Some people are just there to gaslight you and they'll demand an explanation, but then they will tell you that your explanation or your reasoning is not good enough. You don't need to try to explain things to people like that, because you're just going to be talking to a wall. So in many cases, it's completely okay and appropriate. You're not a bad person, and you're not cold and heartless or aiding to the problem and the epidemic of the world of ghosting. You just simply need to step back and walk away, because you need to prove to yourself. You don't need to prove to anyone else. You just need to prove to yourself that you have self-respect, that you're going to uphold your boundaries, and that you're going to allow this situation to pass. This relationship, this connection, you're going to simply allow it to pass. You don't want to be the person where God or the universe or even other people have to rip you apart from a connection that is honestly detrimental to you and your health in many ways. I've definitely been there. I've had to have situations ripped apart from me. And I thought, how could this possibly happen? I was doing everything in my power to keep this healthy and to salvage this and to nurture this and to really work through the issues and make this a good thing. But that's just, there couldn't be any clearer sign from God or the universe that that situation is meant to pass. It's meant to be let go of. And I promise you, it is highly within your best interest to go with the flow on these kinds of things. Release and loosen your grip from connections and situations that are very, very draining for you. You deserve better. The most healing and nurturing relationships you will have in your life will be easy and effortless. They will still require maintenance and work, of course, but it will be much more of a joy to carry out this work, and it will be very obvious that the person you're dealing with really enjoys, appreciates, and respects you. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, a lovely week ahead, and remember to ease up and let go. It's all going to work out.